Hello and welcome to the Dr. Grant Show. Today's show topic, 3 signs that tell me I'm getting close to burnout and what I do next. First sign, extreme fatigue. There's a difference between feeling a little tired and feeling like the effort to even think is too much. That's what I'm talking about. Second, can't remember a stinking thing, often known as brain fog. I was so exhausted that I couldn't even remember my own address. Third, and this is not in all cases, just some, chest pain. I was feeling as if something was squeezing my chest as soon as I opened my eyes in the morning. If this sounds like you, then you're going to want to pay attention to what I did next. And I'll put in the disclaimer that if you're experiencing any chest pain, along with several other symptoms, please consult with your doctor. I just happen to know my body. And once I realized what was going on, I did these 3 things. Number 1, sleep. I stopped everything. I mean, everything. And just slept way more. And in some cases, just went to bed actually on time. Now, this pandemic has a way of sneaking up on us parents, especially because if you are a parent and you work from home and you are, like me, homeschooling your children, you can often find that balancing both is easier said than done. At first, I tried the schedule of working after my children finished up their schoolwork and went to bed, and let my husband put them to bed. That didn't work out well because I wound up staying up until 3 and 4 a.m. Then I tried working while homeschooling them simultaneously. That also didn't work out very well at all. Then I tried a mixing up of the 2. That also didn't work. Finally, I tried waking up at obscene early hours of the morning in an effort to beat them before they woke up and get some work done. And all that made me do was wind up feeling extremely cranky and sleep deprived and heavily leaning on caffeine. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a mom of 2 young children and a wife, so I do use caffeine and it is my friend. However, when one begins to look up and there's a cup of a caffeinated beverage in your hand, and it's not purely for the enjoyment of it, it is to fight for survival, shall we say, that is when it becomes a bigger problem. Now, I know that we're in the middle of a pandemic. We are simply doing all that we can to the best of our ability. And in the end, that's really all that one could ask. However, when you begin to intersect with extreme fatigue, chest pains, and brain fog, I often couldn't even remember what I was trying to do next after leaving a room less than a minute later. This is the kind of brain fog that I'm talking about. And words still fail me in order to adequately explain how exhausted I was. I was also extremely moody, extremely irritable as well. And it didn't benefit anyone. And that's when I realized something was wrong when I woke up one morning and it felt as if someone had taken their hands, grasped my heart, and was squeezing it as tightly as they could between their palms. And I woke up with this feeling morning after morning after morning after morning. At first, I was afraid that I was experiencing a heart attack, but that wasn't the case. And I still say, for those of you that are experiencing or have experienced chest pain, please stay on the more cautious side and consult with your medical doctor. The only reason why I didn't go to a hospital or call 911 is because of the fact that I was still able to accomplish other activities at that time, such as running on the treadmill, if I truly felt inclined to do so, or if I pushed myself and the chest pains didn't worsen. I know some of you might be thinking, oh my goodness, she's trying to run on the treadmill and having chest pains. That's crazy. But for me and for my physiology, and this is where it's extremely important to know how your body works and your physiology. For me, that was really the ultimate telltale sign that I wasn't experiencing a heart attack. Instead, I was experiencing extreme burnout and exhaustion, and maybe a touch of anxiety. The next thing that I did after stopping everything and sleeping and getting more rest and giving in and yielding to my body's desire to rest was utilizing EFT tapping. EFT tapping, for those of you that are unfamiliar, utilize the approach of really acupuncture just without the needles. It utilizes acupressure on key areas of the body in order to reduce stress, improve mood, and help people experience clarity. And EFT tapping has been used in scientific clinical studies and validated as a very effective way to help people with all kinds of maladies, from anxiety to weight loss to food cravings, even calming colicky infants and tantrum children and toddlers. So I am a board certified EFT practitioner. And even though I have been utilizing EFT tapping for quite some time prior to this, I hadn't been putting my whole heart into it. Sometimes I would just quickly run through it in the morning and then that would be it. In this case, I realized I needed to be more present with my EFT tapping and be more specific with my actual statements and tapping scripts that I was using to truly get at the heart of the matter. I also coupled it up with a new approach, new for me, because the tapping was helping me stay afloat, but I still periodically felt as if I was drowning. Therefore, I tapped back in, no pun intended, tapped back into a old, for me, an old method that I used to use and that I had been studying I studied it 30 years ago, but I became reacquainted with this method. And this method is called sound energy healing and therapy. Sound energy healing and therapy can be used and also has been shown in clinical studies to be helpful for alleviating stress and anxiety. And also in some cases for scientific studies, people that experience insomnia, it's also been used for that. Sound healing therapy and sound healing approaches can range, and the instruments used for it can range from Tibetan singing bowls, crystal singing bowls. You can also utilize steel tongue drums. One can also utilize tuning forks at certain frequencies. And the concept behind it, I will very much simplify it. Our bodies are made of energy and we resonate at a certain level. And this used to be ranked as woo-woo, but Now, now scientific studies are validating and proving every single day the actual benefits of using sound therapy in meditation to facilitate healing. There have been scientific studies that have shown that sound healing therapy has been used to even alleviate certain diseases and maladies, and more research is being done on it. But in my case, I decided to really step it up and increase my utilization of sound healing therapy. And I utilize crystal singing bowls as well as still tongue, still tongue drums and playing those. And I ordered and have been using something new to my arsenal, which is a tuning fork set at a healing frequency. And I have to share with you, I'm elated to share with you, it is absolutely amazing. Now, tuning forks are a new addition to my arsenal, and it has proven to be very effective. I used it twice a day, maybe 3 times a day, and it works with the body's bioenergetic field, also known as the biofield. And I'll have a discussion about that more in depth in another video. But essentially, your body is energy. Here's the simplified version. Your body is composed of energy. It responds to certain frequencies. It's also emitting certain frequencies. Scientific studies have also shown that even certain cells in your body are resonating and emitting a certain energy and energetic frequency. And if you can achieve a certain level of coherence and harmony, it helps immensely with things ranging from migraines to regular headaches to speedy, rapid healing results with certain bones in the body, certain cancers, and these are all verified by scientific studies in terms of assisting people in these areas. So I decided to apply and utilize tuning forks at certain harmonic vibrations and energies towards my heart, as well as my entire biofield, doing it 3 times a day for the first 3 days, then reducing it down to twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. The end result by day 4, I experienced a reduction in chest pain. I also experienced a reduction in shoulder and arm pain as well. I experienced a reduction in my headaches, and my mood began to improve as well. I also listened to crystal singing bowls while taking a very heavily salted Epsom salt bath. So I want to maximize and utilize both of these things. So it's been 7 days, and I'm pleased to share with you that I feel much better. However, this is a lesson, more or less, for me to slow down a bit. Even though it is a pandemic and time for me, since I am teaching both of our children and having them remote learn with me, and I've been teaching them via remote learning with me for over 1 year, which has contributed to my extreme fatigue and burnout. But it is a reminder for me personally to slow down, no matter what my goals are, to help as many women as possible conquer and empower them to control the urge to give in to food addiction and food addiction symptoms such as overeating, binge eating, food cravings, emotional eating, stress eating. One cannot fill a cup if their cup is empty, and my cup was very, very, very empty. So if you are experiencing chest pain, I still heavily recommend that you consult with your doctor, because one can never be too careful. The only reason why I didn't consult with my doctor, meaning go to the hospital, I did consult with my doctor via phone, but the only reason why I didn't go to the hospital and call 911 was because I knew my body. I talked to my medical doctor. We decided that this was the best approach for me, considering the other symptoms I did not have, which was shortness of breath, for example. And the fact that I was still able to run on a treadmill was an indicator that it wasn't a heart attack. It was just me experiencing massive burnout as well as anxiety. But if you know someone that shares with you that they are extremely fatigued, that they're experiencing brain fog, meaning the simplest things that they used to remember, they're having great difficulty remembering. In my case, I was so exhausted, I couldn't even remember my own address at certain spells. I had to physically look at my driver's license to see what my zip code actually was. I was just that exhausted. So if you know of anyone that's experiencing these symptoms, definitely recommend to them to first consult with their doctor, but secondly, perhaps explore some of these therapies that I've shared with you. I've shared with you utilizing EFT tapping. I've utilized stopping everything and just resting. Seriously, just more sleep. Whenever you feel the urge to sleep, instead of fighting it or caffeinating your way through it, empowering through it, don't. Just don't. Give in to the urge to sleep and rest, and you'll feel better incrementally. And share with your loved ones that you need some time if you're experiencing these symptoms, because these symptoms can, if left unchecked, these symptoms can get worse. And the third thing that I used was sound therapy and sound healing in the form of tuning forks as well as Tibetan singing bowls. So, thank you for watching today's episode of The Dr. Grant Show. Please share this episode and these tips with someone that's experiencing this, or if you yourself are experiencing this, make sure to save this episode and refer to it often. All right, the Dr. Grant Show is on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and this show has been created for women and some brave men that struggle with food addiction and overeating, food cravings, emotional eating, stress eating, and they're looking for the missing piece to their puzzle after trying all sorts of restrictive diets and exercise and still not getting the long-lasting results that they want. If you'd like to have a conversation about your specific set of circumstances, I can be found on edibleaddiction.com. And you can also check out Medium Magazine. I'm a writer for there and that publication as well. Much love to you.